Dr. Srinivas Rao on behalf of Osteoeducation Society of India. Today we plan to introduce to one of the most reputed oral surgeon in the field of, especially in the field of digital implantology. Hi, Dr. Rahul.
Hello, Dr. Srinivas.
So to introduce him, Dr. Rahul Shah is an exclusive oral maxillofacial surgeon and he is practicing in 2010 in Thane, Maharashtra, India. And he has breached the walls and he has broken the walls. There is a strict protocol which we used to think that we have to learn from our seniors and with the most experienced persons and all. But he is quite young at age. He is a budding oral maxillofacial surgeon, but he has acquired so much of knowledge in as far as the digital part of is concerned. So, Dr. Rahul, can you briefly tell us, like, why have you chosen maxillofacial surgery as your MDS career?
I come from a medical background. My parents are orthopedic surgeon and my mom's an anesthetist. So I've always grown up around surgical talks, jokes in the house. But due to my own choice, I decided to do dentistry. But then I realized that my passion is still in surgery. So there was a straightforward one option, maxillofacial surgery. So that's why I chose it out of just pure passion.
And through your stories, we'll listen with you, like, there is one life-changing moment for you which has happened in IDS Cologne. Can you briefly tell us what it was and why you feel that it's a life-changing moment for you?
So I had been to IDS Cologne for the first time. I was in awe looking at dentistry, how it is on a global scale. Me and my partner Dr. Pratik Chheda is a prosthodontist. We had been there to procure all the digital technology. But at that time, all the digital technology was more of prosthetic field. May it be scanners, may it be 3D printing, milling. And while crossing along one of the alleys in IDS, I just saw something what I had seen in articles and had seen online before, and it seemed as if it is the same thing. So I went back to the stall and I realized that yes, it is dynamic navigation, and it was a product called Navident by a company called Claronav. And looking at that product, I just got excited that probably this is the thing which can help me stand apart. My parents have always taught me that if you want to be known, you either have to be the first or you have to be the best. Being the best probably is not in your hands, but at least being the first is in yours. So that's when I decided to start Navident, and that's helped me a lot and can be one of the changing moments of my life.
And I believe that those times this Navident or navigation-based surgeries was not available in India. So how exactly have you felt that you have to procure back to India, and what the initial glitches you faced to install it or to use it, and how exactly you face this inconvenience when you are trying to use it?
Oh, if I narrate the whole story, it will be like
please,
a one-day interview.
a great story for our viewers.
No, but to keep it short, I saw the machine. I thought IDS will be like Famden, where you pay the money, you pick up the product and come back home. And they quoted a price. I said, I don't have that much money on me. They said, no, this is an exhibition. We do not sell here. We only take orders. So I was like, okay. He told me some price in few $1,000. I calculated. I spoke to my parents, took a decision. I had my card which had some money. So I swiped it. And I thought everything is over.
Okay.
We came back to India, and then I got a mail from Claronav saying, what is your import-export license number? What is your freight partner? I said, I don't have any of that. I have paid you the money, you sent it. He said, no, the money is only for the product. You have to take care of the customs, you have to take care of the freight. And I was like, huh? So it took me about 2 months to procure licenses, get a freight partner. Finally the product came, and there's a joke which I have shared with many of my colleagues.
Yeah.
I was sitting in my clinic and my assistant comes and says, sir, fridge aaya hai. I have not ordered a fridge. Fridge kahan se aaya hai? It was actually that big box of Navident which had come to my clinic suddenly one day. And I opened it up, I connected it like a video game, and started trying on the models and things, and suddenly it came, licenses exhausted. That's when I realized that this comes with per case license. And then I wrote to the company, they said you are not supposed to use the machine unless you are trained. I'm like, I'm an Indian, if I buy, I use, what training I need? They said, no, you need to get trained to use the machine. So then I went to UAE, got trained in the machine, came back, then my journey started. I went to Canada, I got trained further, and that's how slowly and slowly it changed. But initially, because I had no one to share my experience, it was like I'm swimming alone in the whole sea. But now today we have a lot of users and it's more fun.
Like you said, you been to Canada to learn about dynamic navigation treatment protocols and all. So this training period was for how many months, and like how much time did it take it for you to say that okay, I'm ready to do it on my patients?
So I went to UAE first. I got trained there for 2 days, and that's when I started doing patients. I did few implant patients. I did
Sanitary and patients like
no, I spent good amount of time, probably
Okay.
20-30 hours on models.
Okay.
Then I did few simple cases. Then I did few full mouth cases. But then I ventured into certain oral surgical procedures like orthognathic. I did resections with help of navigation. That's when I sent this data to the company, and that's when the company invited me to join them at their headquarters in Canada to probably expand the product and also learn what are the newer updates they are coming. So that was a good time. I spent about 11 months at the company in Canada, and that's where I could understand the system in and out. I could open it, play with it, try the new parts, try the parts which were going to come in the next version, and that's how it became like a family for me.
Okay. So when you are doing it for the first time, do you any given point of time for your or for that matter first of your cases at any given point of your time you feel that this product is not for me, this product is at a very native or beginning stage, this requires modifications or some polish is required for that product to be used?
Frankly speaking, I have paid a handsome amount to get that machine. So for me, I had no second thoughts about using the machine. But whenever I would say we are doing a case with Navident, both of my assistants would run away and they would say, "Aaj ye assist karega, nahi ye assist karega," because I would take longer time to do the case. I would get probably little agitated at finishing the case because there were too many new things to be done to do a case. But with time today, it has all gelled in very well as part of my journey.
So you underwent a training for this navigation treatment protocols, and then you done your cases on your own, and then I believe you cross-verified whether you are doing it correctly or not with the Avalino support which is there into that software. And then I believe you started working in Canada and try to analyze what are the glitches which are happening with that software and the product as such. Is that so?
Yes, that's absolutely correct. Because I was more interested to expand the horizon of the Navident software beyond implantology. I had got the opportunity to work at their headquarters on to what different indications the machine can be used as. The SAW mode, how can we use it for other procedure other than just implantology. And eventually I started using them for zygomatic implants. Today there has been a good number for me, more than about 200 implants placed with zygomatic implants placed with dynamic navigation. I also have a copyright for the protocol to use navigation in zygomatic implants. So it was a slow, steady journey, but it has come a long way, yes.
Yeah, quite interesting. So in one of your stories you said initially with the Ostem also you tried to do in a digital way, and then you worked on their guided system protocols also, and then since you are at young at age, so I feel there will be hindrance from the senior practitioners to learn from you. So was there any kind of difference when you started working with Ostem guided solutions and then you shifted yourself to the navigation solutions, and how best the practitioners are accepting you as a tutor because you are young at age?
So the story with Ostem goes as I started speaking for Ostem on guided implant surgery probably in 2018.
Okay.
and I would be sitting there probably giving a hands-on demo, and a lot of senior practitioners would either come look at me and walk by and say, I don't want to learn from him, or what will he teach me? I have been doing more implants more than his age. So probably initially it was tough, but then as digital technology is driven by technology, it is more of a computer based, and think people slowly started accepting what I was doing. I did about 1,000 implants with static guides, documented them, started showing my cases. That's when people started taking me seriously. And with that time, also Marks Biotech got dynamic navigation in India in about 2021. That's when I started doing more of dynamic navigation, speaking on that as well. So initially, I have had problems, senior doctors asking, is CBCT correct? If there are a lot of errors with CBCT, how do you defend that in your digital technology? But today, I don't think that's a problem. It's an established fact that digital technology is probably the past. I would say it is no more the present or the future. Now we are looking at AI in different fields of technology. So digital is not the future. It is surely the present, or I would say the past.
As you said, there is deep-rooted traditional treatment protocols, and if any clinician wants to be sure of what will be the future prognosis of that case, so I feel that's where the digital thing will come into the picture. So apart from confirming your treatment as such, or confirming the prognosis of your case as such, what do you feel that this will ease the surgical procedures, or it will enhance your surgical skills, or it will make sure that you are doing in the right way?
To answer one of your questions, would it enhance my surgical skills? I would have doubts on that. It actually makes your surgical skills blunter. They don't make it sharper.
Okay.
They sort of reduce the need of your surgical skills. You become more dependent on the technology. So other than that, I think with time it has been proven over and over again that it is a very, very predictable and accurate technology. So people have started believing in what digital technology has to offer, and it's been explored not only in the field of implantology today, but practically every aspect in dentistry today. May it be aligners, may it be CAD/CAM, everything.
Like coming back to the, like you are training so many doctors now. Do you feel any kind of difference in accepting this technology as far as the Indian dentists are concerned compared to the global dentists? And what do you feel, which one are better?
I have had the opportunity to train dentists in US, Canada, some parts of Europe for dynamic navigation. The only difference in acceptance has been just the cost factor. But as a technology in India, we have had more than 20 installations in the last 1.5 years. That's a big number for a short period of time. So I think people are accepting.
When you say it's a big number, so big in consideration with which country as such? Or at global level?
If I'm not mistaken, for last 6 years, they had sold about 70 machines in the entire US. And for 1.5 years, 20 in India is, I would say, a relatively big number. For a company who first thought India is not their market, today they recognize India as one of their important markets.
So, as you said, you are doing not only for conventional implants, you are doing with the zygomatic implants also. So, and in one of your cases where we happens to see is that you have done flapless surgeries also for zygomatic implants. So, do you recommend that needs to be done, or any precautionary measures you need to take, especially for those who are much inclined to the zygomatic implants in particular?
Frankly speaking, that's not my forte. I was assisting Dr. Ashwini Bhalerao for her PhD thesis topic, which is on flapless zygoma. So, in her presence, with her help, I have done flapless zygoma, but I am not the authority to give any positives or negatives about. But I personally do not do flapless as much for zygomas for sure.
So, on a personal note, doctor believe that it has to be an open surgery only, not flapless.
Yes, that is what I would say.
Okay. Now, again, coming back to the basic question, you said we are also moving in learning the digital platforms, skills, and all those things. So, how strongly do you recommend that whosoever wants to excel themselves in this dynamic navigation surgeries and all? So, is that absolute necessity for a person to have CBCT, or if a person doesn't have CBCT, in-house CBCT in their clinics, what and all steps they have to take it into consideration, especially with the recent products which has come into navigation?
See, for sure, having an in-house CBCT would help. It would shorten your time from the time you decide to do a case, take a CBCT plan and execute. If you do not have a CBCT, it's not mandatory for sure. You could have a CT scan in your locality or a CBCT. Only thing, there are certain protocols you need to follow before you do dynamic navigation. So, when you send a patient for CBCT, you should be aware of you're planning to do this case via dynamic navigation. So, certain instructions have to be given to the CBCT center so that you do not have to repeat the CBCT just to perform the case.
So, do you feel on a very longer run, this dynamic navigation will be a sort of economical burden to the dentist, or is it really helpful in reaching their economical goals as well?
I have only one corollary to say. When RVGs came into picture, people said it's very, very expensive and it's not for India, or probably it's not for an everyday dentist. It's a very, very exclusive or a premium product. But today, practically every clinic has an RVG. So I don't think so. It's same story for composite, same stories for elastomeric, same stories for digital scanners, and same story for dynamic. Like today, if you see on a global platform, if you talk about static guides, probably it's history. Now everything is all about dynamic navigation.
Don't say that static guides is history, we are stealing it. Because if you say it's a history, then it will be difficult for us. I think still, as you said, we can still stick on to static guides if your protocols are proper, but definitely there will be enhancement of your skills when you do the dynamic navigation.
Absolutely.
As such, there are certain limitations when you do the static guided surgery which you don't feel. So my next question for you is, like, what exactly which cannot the static guides can't do, but this dynamic navigation can do?
So one of the major disadvantages or limitations of static guide is restricted mouth opening, where the mouth opening is not adequate. With longer drills, it's slightly difficult to place them in the mouth and do it. There are lateral guide holes possible today, but still it could be a limitation. Also, the seat of the stent in certain cases is compromised, specifically flabby atrophic mandibular cases, where you can't seat the denture properly or the stent properly. That case might be compromised. This finally being a pre-planned procedure, you either have to follow the guide or you throw the guide. It's a blind procedure. So in an immediate extraction case, if I extract a tooth, I probably damage certain amount of the buccal plate. I need to place my implant more palatally or lingually, or certain things have to be changed on table. That's a limitation with static guides, which can be easily tackled with the help of dynamic navigation.
I think you have seen all the phases of dynamic navigation part is concerned, as far as digital part is concerned. So I don't know whether you are the right person to tell right from the inception till the end what and all changes has been happened in their journey. But I would like to ask you, from the day onwards when you have started with your dynamic navigation surgeries till now, what are the changes which you have seen in your practice or in the product as such?
Basically, I have been lucky enough to be using the version which is called Navident 1, and today we have the version Navident 4. So the version which was Navident 1, where the technology in dynamic navigation was, we had to use fiducial markers prior to making a CBCT. The same fiducial markers had to be replicated during the surgery, and to fit the fiducial markers, and it was a very cumbersome procedure, and it limited to mainly dented patients. To do a completely edentulous case was not very difficult, was not very easy. So then there was a very big shift in the field of dynamic navigation, where something called as trace and place protocol was introduced, where you could have a previously taken CBCT and trace the patient and then carry out the surgery. So that made no need of repeating CBCTs with a fiducial marker. You could have a CBCT and continue with the case directly. Then the third biggest thing was the ease to use it in edentulous cases, along with not just your implant handpiece, but with piezos and other various instruments which was possible. Basically the horizon or the indication has changed. And today, as we know, we have something called a Navident Evo or Navident 4th version, which is absolutely fast. It's a very premium, good looking machine. Also the camera is moving, or it's a motion tracking camera which tracks the patient when it moves. So there are certain glitches which were there over the time, which in this current product have been smoothed out or ironed out very well. From here beyond, practically I can only imagine it to becoming a completely robotic machine and placing the implants for us, because today it is doing everything I need for dynamic navigation.
So you said Navident 1, so that means you are using their products in this original right from the beginning onwards?
Yes, I have had the first commercial out product to the current commercial out product.
Okay, so that means you are the right person to tell us how it started and how it has.
I do not know if I am the right person, but I am probably one of the most passionate persons who can keep talking on this for the whole day.
True. Like you said, there are so many changes which has happened over a period of time, and they are associated with the navigation, that especially Navident, right from its inception to its present state. So what is there for future in this navigation, these surgeries?
Future would surely be completely robotic procedures. So most companies today are saying it's the future, but I know for a fact that robotics in dentistry is already a present. I have first-hand information and tried few products myself, but since they are not commercially available, I cannot reveal them on these platforms. But yes, in the near future we will see where we do just probably have to hold the handpiece and the rest will be done by the machine.
Okay. So I feel there are very few companies at global level who is doing this navigation surgeries and all. I mean, this protocol is being followed.
Yes, currently I would say I can count the companies on my fingertips.
Okay.
But at this IDS, I have seen a lot of enthusiastic companies, even smaller companies are trying to get into the space of dynamic navigation. So in the near future, I think it will become like scanners. We will have probably more than 15-20 players in the market. That's when the real time of dynamic navigation will be seen.
Whether it was absolutely necessary when you go for this navigation surgeries, basic surgeries, like superimposition of the other STL files and taking into consideration of videographic guides, how important it is as far as the prosthetic way of doing the implants part is concerned?
Today, it is a non-debatable fact that implant has to be prosthetically driven. So unless we do a good prosthetic planning, we should not be planning the implants. So my wife is a prosto. When I did my PG in oral surgery, I would place an implant and send to prosto department, and then they would come back and say you have placed the implant in the wrong angulation. I would say, why are you doing prosto? Restore it. But since I'm married a prostodontist, it's the other way around. Whatever the prosto say, it has to be followed. Jokes apart, with this digital technology today, we can plan our prosthesis prior to placing implants, and that's how the predictability and longevity of each prosthesis is happening, and that's why there's a big boom and acceptance for the field of digital implantology today.
I think we are talking too much about dental implants. So coming you as being a maxillofacial surgeon, so what are the other areas do you feel apart from dental implantology this product is really worthy of using it?
This product is a pure surgeon's tool. It helps us to sort of know where the instrument is when I am doing a surgery. So I have personally used it in various indications, and I think globally there is a big research happening to widen its scope to resections, for rehabilitation post resections, It is also coming big way in orthodontic surgeries. It is already a part of sinus procedures through ENT products. A lot of maxillofacial surgeons are also now venturing into the fact. So also endo is what I am seeing lately. A lot of people have ventured into 3D guided endodontics, and dynamic navigation is playing a very important role in that as well. And in the future, what I see, probably it could be used to do parallel preps in full mouth, tooth supported FMR also. So it's probably used in every field of dentistry.
So you mean to say there is a wide scope of this navigation-based surgeries at different levels?
Absolutely.
So you said it is there in the ENT and neurosurgery as well.
Correct.
So can you briefly tell us the history of this navigation?
Oh, navigation in field of medicals is for last more than 30 years.
30 years. Okay.
Yes, and it's an established fact. So I, coming from an orthopedic background, have seen these machines used by my father probably more than 10 years, 15 years back, where they would use it for a total knee replacement. You might have seen a lot of movies which were 15-20 years back, where they are showing brain surgeries where two probes are put and something is seen on the screen. So I sometimes feel it a bit silly when people sort of challenge the technology as the dynamic navigation. It's there for last 30 years. It's been used for spine, it's been used for neuro, it's been used for orthopedic, which in my opinion need more level of finesse and accuracy than is required for dental implants. So challenging the technology, I would say, is not the right way to go ahead.
From your words, I feel that the company Navident as such and various other companies to that matter would be having a very great work culture. So can you tell briefly about their work culture, and if within the limits, if it's possible to say what is the future research they are planning to go ahead into?
The future of the company, I would not be the right person to
I know,
reveal.
yeah, that's a question.
Yeah, so future no, but the work culture wise, I have worked with them. Claronav is a close-knit community, it's like a small family, and everyone knows each other. It's a first name basis kind of company, and any idea given by any person in the field reaches the right person probably within next 10 minutes, and people start working on it. So probably you will be shocked that in last 6 years there have been 4 versions.
4 versions.
So that's how fast the product is being developed and evolved. So you said something negative. Can I say this probably could be the only negative I can say? By the time you are at pace with today, they are already 10 things ahead. So you learn today, again in few days there will be something new for you to learn. But that's how it makes it more and more present. Like you are always with the latest technology and going towards the future.
So we all know that there is so much of scope in this treatment modality, especially with the semi-robotic surgeries and all. So Rahul, can you share anything to our viewers, especially you yourself, you are a young dentist and a young surgeon. So to our young viewers, what do you like to say? How they have to procure or how to imbibe these digital platforms into their day-to-day practices, as far as the research part is also concerned?
Yeah, research part, I think probably most of the research in the field of implantology today is happening in biomaterials and digital technology. So these are the only 2 current avenues where research, if you want to pursue, you have an option today. Rest is probably been established facts in implantology. And moving to digital technology, my teacher, Dr. Rajesh Sirsagar, my guide, has always taught me by saying you can either be cheap or you can be good. It's very difficult to be both. So you can't equate a technology being expensive and not go into it. If you want to become good at something or you want to become better at something, you have to adopt a technology. Might be expensive today, but eventually it is going to become the part of your working culture in the probably immediate future. So do not get scared, do not hesitate from entering into digital technology. That is what I would want to share.
So Rahul, this was really wonderful in having you, and I think I am blessed to have you with us,
No.
because I personally learned how to do this navigation based surgeries. Today we have a couple of cases which we have done. Thank you, it's a real pleasure.
Thank you so much.
having you
It's
now.
been my pleasure, my honor to be here. Thank you so much.
So much.